will share something that about 8 hours ago, there was an explosion at the Iowa data center for Google, and it had massive outages globally for quite a bit. There were 3 electricians in there working, and we don't have the full story. One of them was med flighted out of there, 2 out on an ambulance, but absolutely some sort of massive electrical explosion, and it shut down Google's ability to process globally on a couple of their services for like a couple hours.
Yeah, I kind of have insight on this too. My not on this particular situation, but on data centers.
Mm-hmm.
My son works for he's a diesel generator, a
Mm-hmm.
mechanic, and people don't realize the amount how big the generators are that run these data centers when the power
Huge.
goes out, and
Full
the amount
backup.
of diesel that's there, these huge tanks and everything else. So God forbid, hopefully nothing of that nature
Mhm.
happen. But the problem with them is they don't keep them under a load at all, and so they're always breaking down, and they don't run them very much.
Right. Because they're only there for like backup. So if you're not maintaining these things 24/7, and imagine how much energy is coming out of these data centers. Like every
Oh
single one of
yeah.
these processing chips that we were talking about has a thermal load. That thermal load has a waste. That waste needs to escape. These things are just these giant data processing battery banks sitting around with high amounts of electrical input going into it, just waiting for an issue to occur. But
Yeah,
it
it
tell
just reminds me of like it's almost like like those old school like even the old Batmans or whatever, where there's like this little funny looking bomb and it's got a
yeah, it's
ticking
got
clock on it, with
the big
dynamite.
wick coming out of it. Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
big wick. That's what these data centers remind me of. Like any moment.
Any moment. But here's the thing though. It shows you how fragile the fabric of the internet is.
Yes.
Truly. It shows you how fragile that is for data processing. And
Well, I
so
always wondered why they don't have them underground, because it naturally would cool. I
right.
mean, I know. Go ahead.
It's expensive. How fast can I set up an erector set above ground rather than me digging out this huge excavation hole for a couple football fields and sticking this plant underneath the ground?
Right. Yeah.
And
I know. I
there are
know.
benefits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you have these things called CMEs. They're called coronal mass ejections. They come from the sun, and it's like this. Think of it as like a huge electromagnetic pulse washing over the Earth. All these things are sitting above. These data centers are sitting on the crust, on top of it. If could you when that shuts down, man, from one of these things, and our sun is a dying sun, so we'll probably see more of them. You got to pay attention to the fact that there are so many vulnerabilities in design of these systems that if we don't build properly for the future, it's not about just building them bigger and faster, but making them robust. Because clearly we're lacking that robustness, and it shows you how fragile and how chaotic things can be. People lost access to maps. Could you
Hmm.
imagine the decrease in global efficiency when people can't use their Google Maps? Seriously.
Oh my goodness.
Think about how reliant on that. Now people are late to work. Productivity drops for 5 hours for billions of people. Think about
Just
that.
off of that one little
Just
blip.
just off of one blip, and that's something that we need to constantly keep a keen focus on. I don't know how to solve it. But I just figured it was something worth talking about, and I hope those 3 electricians are okay. That kind of sucks. Electricity is a dangerous game.
100%. And I think it's I think it gives an indication to, and we've talked about this before, where there's data lakes or whatever it is. It gives
Hmm.
an indication for us to look at cloud more and understand and you've talked about this before, using the power of every individual computer.
Right. Like I have my phone. Why are we not using the combined processing power and storage of all these devices to decentralize in a decentralized manner to manage how the internet actually functions? That's how it should work, right? As things become more efficient and the blockchain becomes more, widespread and it becomes a normalized technology, well, maybe the storage is that so that when I'm walking by people and there's like near field communication, I can just get the update to what the blockchain was directly onto my phone. And I never even have to be on the internet. We're all just essentially sharing the data and the concurrent changes back and forth all day long across smart contracts. And we don't have to have this centralized server system that is currently in place. We can have one that's completely decentralized, totally updated and managed by all the micro devices that we have. No reason that can't happen. And it's fundamentally, it's far more robust than what we currently see in place. But that would probably be a great solve for the future. I don't know how it'd be done, but I'm sure there's a way for it. If we're thinking about it, there's a way.
Yeah, and technology, the way that it's growing. I mean, being optimistic towards either we're going to blow ourselves up or we're going to solve these problems. One of the two,
or both. We'll solve the problems to blow ourselves up.
Exactly. That's funny. Yeah. Hey, we solved world hunger. We solved climate stability, educational access. We got all the big 7. The last one, we were almost there, and then we just blew ourselves up.
Yeah, synthetic meats were really on the rise, and then an ICBM came over from Russia.
Yeah.
Great.
Or the synthetic meat cost. Did you see the synthetic tiger meat they've made? FYI.
Hold on.
Type in synthetic tiger steak.
Well,
look at this. This thing looks delicious.
Why are people eating tigers?
Well, they're creating endangered, species steaks for fun,
Tiger cry steaks?
Yeah, see how that it looks just like a steak, like a piece of meat. It's created in a lab. It's amazing.
Yeah, this is insane.
But yeah, you could take any endangered animal, or if we had the DNA from a dinosaur,
just chewing on dinosaurs.
Yeah, we could be eating. This is the future, and I'm super excited about this. I hope
I like it. I think it's great.
This happens. I mean, it's the same. People don't even realize that it's the same composition, same protein, amino acids, everything. So why would it? Why would it not be?
No, it's no loss, and
it's just it's new technology, and the costs will go down, and
it's better for the planet.
We'll have.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with all the cows?
Just let them die off. They have cows on average live for around 20 years if you don't slaughter them.
Well, I was in Wyoming, and there are fields just hanging out, waiting for buffalo, or there's empty fields. Like I'm talking thousands of acres, as far as the eye could see, and maybe see one antelope, one cow. I mean, we could pack these things. It's just sad because it would be so cool to see more bison on these fields.
Yeah, it's too bad we had to be like flying by on trains and just like shooting these things and piling up their skulls.
I know that. I saw the new Predator movie. It's on Hulu. And this was the whole thing. It's American, Native Americans versus Predator. And then the French trappers were in there, and of course, and I heard, see if I'm wrong on this, or maybe that the Native Americans actually learned scalping from the French.
From the French Foreign Legion?
Yeah, they were the trappers and stuff like that. Like they had came up with that. And so they were just doing back to what? But it's Comanches. Against Predator.
Yeah, there's good talk that they actually did learn it from the Europeans.
Yeah, but I of course, I'm a sucker for any and all the Predator movies from Arnold Schwarzenegger all the way through. That 3 triangle red dot gets me every time.
Oh, it's great. It's good stuff.
With their noise, they make like the crab noise or whatever. Like,
yeah. I don't know what this has to do with data, but I love it.
Chip manufacturing, Chinese communists,
Nancy Pelosi, synthetic meat
blowing up, Nancy Pelosi, fake tiger meat. Now we're on the Predator.
Yeah. This show is a mess, and I love it.
Yeah, we better get the hell out of here.
All right, thanks everybody. See you later.